Biophysics of Parenting and Biochemistry of Parenting. Tapan K. Chowdhury 1, Tushar K. Chowdhury 1, Tandra R. Chowdhury 1, Sree Taposh K. Chowdhury 2 and Srimati Bulu R. Chowdhury 1, Professor, Chowdhury Spiritual Research Center, Hampton, Virginia, USA. 2, Spiritual Guru and Divine Mentor, Chowdhury Spiritual Research Center, Hampton, Virginia, USA. 3, Spiritual Intern, Disciple, and Devotee, Chowdhury Spiritual Research Center, Hampton, Virginia, USA. Corresponding author, Tapan K. Chowdhury, Professor, Chowdhury Spiritual Research Center, Hampton, Virginia, USA. Email, chowdhury44@gmail.com. What is parenting? The current definition of parenting is loving and caring for children. When does parenting start? Parenting does not start from the earthly birth of the child. Parenting starts from the wombly birth of the child, from conception. The new definition of parenting should be loving and caring for children plus transmitting God's energy to children. That's the biophysics of parenting, Figure 1, and modulating DNA by worship, prayer and meditation during conception. Strictly speaking, all human beings have 2 stages of birth. First, in the womb, a star is born in the womb. Secondly, on the earth, the birth of the child from the mother's womb on the earth. One would be wondering if the child is just a blob of cells at conception, who cannot see and cannot hear. How can parenting start from conception? The answer is yes, it can. How? At conception, parents have a bigger role in parenting than after birth on earth, i.e., transmitting God's energy to the sperm, egg and the blob of cells after fertilization by worship, prayer and meditation, WPM. This helps to download a higher level of mind and higher level of soul to the newly created human being. At conception, parents also have a bigger role to modulate DNA by electromagnetic energy of human mind acquired through WPM. That's the biochemistry of parenting, Figure 2, while the genetic engineering by the human is called CRISPR. The genetic engineering by the electromagnetic energy of human mind is called theogenetics. How parents can acquire God's energy. Parents are like solar cells. Just as a solar cell acquires energy from the sun, converts it to electrical energy and distributes that energy during darkness to provide light, similarly parents should acquire energy from God by WPM, converts it to M of mind and distribute that energy to their children, biophysics of parenting, for maintaining good health and good mind and to improve their performance at home, school, and workplace. How parents can transmit God's energy to the children. Parents are like television transmitters. Just as a television transmitter transmits electromagnetic energy to the consumer, similarly parents should transmit God's energy to their children, biophysics of parenting, via M of the mind through the pathway of giving blessing. Another example of biophysics of parenting, Figure 4 and Figure 5. Figure 4 shows the active method of giving blessing by the blesser and passive method of receiving blessing by the bless. An example of biophysics of parenting. Figure 5 shows the active method of receiving blessing by the bless and passive method of giving blessing by the blesser. An example of biophysics of parenting. How children can receive God's energy from the parents. Children are like television receivers. Just as a customer's television set has a receiver to capture electromagnetic energy transmitted by the television transmitter. Similarly, children should have receivers to capture God's energy transmitted by their parents through M of the mind. The receiver of the television set in the past consisted of rabbit ears antennae, which was nothing but a metal rod. The children's receiver to capture God's energy from parents also consists of ROD, which is an acronym instead of the word rod. ROD stands for respect, obedience, and devotion. The only way children can acquire God's energy from their parents is through respect, obedience, and devotion to their parents, provided parents are in constant touch with God. Figure 3. It is a two-way street, not a one-way street. Figure 3. Magnet attracts iron but iron does not attract iron. When magnet is attached to iron, then that iron attracts another iron. Similarly, when parents' mind is attached to God, and children's mind is attached to parents' mind, then God's energy is transmitted through the parents to the children. Role of M of the mind on blessing. Blessing is nothing but transmission of M of the mind from one person to another, example of biophysics of parenting, usually from an elder to a younger person. The M of the mind travels through nerves to the ends of the body, head, fingers, and toes. The transmission of M follows the principle of the second law of thermodynamics, which states energy travels from a higher level to a lower level. The blessing is usually given by touching the fingers of the blesser on the head of the blessee because the fingers are at higher energy level than the head, figure 4. The blessing is usually received by the blessee by touching the toes of the blesser, because the toes are at higher energy level than the fingers, figure 5. So the energy levels at different ends of the body are as follows: energy levels at toes greater than fingers greater than head.